for the meeting. Oops. Put yourself on mute when not speaking. Don't interrupt while someone is speaking. Be attentive throughout the meeting. And support the speakers with your warm jazz hands. Let's have a great meeting. Now for our club president, Peter Sheesh.
Okay, thank you for all for coming today. And I will pass it back to our fellow Toastmaster, Xavier Taylor.
Thank you. All right. First up, I'd like to bring our grammarian up. Make sure to announce the word of the day, Peter Sheesh.
So as grammarian, I will be counting all your grammar errors. That includes filler words such as us, like, and so. And the word of the day is cloying. Cloying. And the definition is excessively sweet or sentimental. One example is she finds most romantic comedies cloying and predictable. So I hope to see a lot of people say the word cloying today. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Xavier.
Thank you for that short but cloying introduction of the word of the day. Now it's time for our timer. Tell us what the timer does, Mr. Horace Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I do believe we have a few guests that will be coming in later. One of the things that we learn in Toastmasters or in the Gavel Club is how to conduct the program within strict times. For prepared speeches, that speech is typically from 5 to 7 minutes. At the 5-minute mark, my background will turn green. At the 6-minute mark, my background will turn yellow. And at the 7th-minute mark, my background will turn red. At that time, the speaker will have about 30 seconds to conclude his or her comments. During the table topics sessions, the same cycle of red, green, yellow background will occur, however, at a different time interval. Table topics responses are from 1 to 2 minutes. At the 1-minute mark, my background will turn green. At the 1.5-minute mark, my background will turn yellow. And at the 2-minute mark, my background will turn red. Likewise, during the speech evaluations are from 2 to 3 minutes. The evaluator will note that at the 2-minute mark, my background will turn green. At the 2.5-minute mark, my background will turn yellow. And at the 3-minute mark, my background will turn red. At that point, the evaluator has about 30 seconds to conclude his or her comments. Near the end of the speech, when called upon, I will give my timer's report. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you for that introduction of the timer's role. It is now time for our speech section. First speaker, we have Michael Lee.
I got the timer. That's fine.
Evaluator?
I didn't give my speech title, so should I just introduce myself?
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Liu, and today I'd like to talk about the opinions of others. Now, we hear about the opinions of others every single day. We as humans are very expressive creatures and like to voice our opinions, which we commonly believe to be the best. However, those opinions sometimes do not agree with those of other people. So I would like to take a poll here. Who has gotten into an argument with or dispute with someone else based on their opinion? Not fact, just their opinion. Yes, I expected that. As an older generation, perhaps during friend meetings or at family dinners, a relative or a friend might say something you dislike. For us, the younger generation, we most commonly come across this kind of dispute online, in the comment sections of Facebook posts, YouTube videos, and such. Now, of course, it is so easy to follow the advice to just walk away and not say anything. No, I'm kidding, it's not. You want to say something. You want to disagree. It's our human nature to do so, to enforce what we believe is right. But of course, the internet has made this into a slightly different form of discussion. At a family dispute, perhaps you can talk it over with a family member or their friend. But online, they're allowed to employ whatever they wish. They can use hateful comments, they can insult you directly even, but they can hide behind the anonymity of the screen and therefore receive no repercussions. And that is where I believe today's discussion, as in this age's discussion of other people's opinions, has drastically changed. I believe that there are two types of opinions, those that you do need to address and those that you don't need to address. Now, in our daily life, of course, I am a person with zero social life, so I do not have a girlfriend, but say with a significant other or a friend that, or another person that you spend a lot of time around every single day, they will have opinions of their own. And of course, like I said, you will find sometimes that you will disagree with those opinions. And that's perfectly normal, but you can't just walk away. What if those opinions address certain problems? What if they have a habit that they think is perfectly normal, but you think is a horrendous offense to your daily being? Well, you can't let that build up. Eventually, you'll release it as a form of anger. And of course, we don't want to hurt those who we love or care about. So those types of opinions need to be addressed in a very calm and discussion-like way. That way, whatever dispute can be solved civilized, using a civilized manner, and without inflicting emotional damage on both parties. The other type of opinion I like to discuss is what I mentioned at the start of my speech, the opinions of those online or perhaps over the news. These opinions are often very radical. They don't really concern daily matters as we have with those around us, but instead perhaps politics, gender issues, social economic issues, political issues. These are very volatile topics. But of course, people just like to run their mouths. And these topics are more difficult to dispute because, for example, a bad habit might be agreed upon by both parties as a bad habit, but agreements over political party is far more different. There is no single correct political party. There are many that all disagree with each other, and when that starts dividing people to pick sides, disputes happen. That most commonly happens online, where you simply cannot engage in civilized discussion. That is when I advise you to walk away. I, as a small child myself, being born in China, had varying opinions from those who lived in the United States because I was simply raised in a different environment and grew up with a different set of moral values and political opinions as the people I now live around every day. And whenever in, for example, elementary school or middle school, when someone would say, Hong Kong's not part of China or Taiwan's not part of China, I would get all mad and riled up and say, shut up, you're not right, you're wrong, it is. But that did not help anything. They laughed at me because to them, it was perfectly normal to assume that their opinion was correct. And they thought that I was just some brainwashed member from China who was trying to convince them otherwise. Now, however, I perhaps still believe the same things I do, but I find that it's not necessary to voice those opinions. When I see a comment online saying Taiwan's part of China or Hong Kong's part, no, not part of China, sorry. I walk past. They're allowed to have their own opinions, and I'm allowed to have mine. There is no need to lower myself to the level by trying to argue with them, because a lot of those people, when they comment those things online, they're trying to provoke an argument because they know it's controversial. They know there's someone out there who's mad enough and cares about it enough to argue with them. And that's where they get their joy. I don't want to give them that. So I walk away. Now, political opinions can also be very volatile in family discussions as well. For example, I have a friend who is a fan of Donald Trump. This somehow came up in a conversation, I don't even know how, but he mentioned that he supported Donald Trump. I did not, obviously. I hold very significant, very different values from that. But I found no need to argue with him. Why? He's my friend. I like him because of his personality, of the way he acts every day around me. His political opinion in no way is part of my image of him. Therefore, he's still one of my best friends today, and we never discuss a political opinion. Those are, I believe, the types of opinions that others have. Some we need to address and solve the disputes that exist. Some we need to ignore because simply they don't matter. Life is a very large thing, and we cannot stop to care about petty things such as political opinions. Thank you.
A speech. Next up, we have speaker number 2, which would be Mr. Don Gray.
Thank you for your introduction, Toastmaster Taylor. My speech today is titled, "The Things You Do Today." I just wanted to let it be known that my speech today was written specifically for the Gavel Club. It is a 5 to 7 minute speech titled, "The Things You Do Today." The things you do today will be with you for the rest of your life. As a young boy growing up in South Memphis, I did many things that I did not want to do. My parents made me complete chores I hated and go places I did not want to go. I was at their mercy. Today, I would not change a single thing. The love, respect, and lessons I learned as a young boy are still with me today. I did everything I was asked to do. One year, I should say, I remember I failed 1 year in grade school. My mother made me spend my summer months going to summer school. Every day, I was the only child in the house going to school. No summer trips for me, no watching TV, just going to school every day, reading my books, completing my homework assignment, not being able to play with my friends, just doing what I was told. I learned a lesson that summer, a lesson that I would never forget. I was told when I came home from school, if I had homework, it had to be done the minute I walked into the house, before I can do anything else. My mother told me, well, actually my mother would take my homework and she would look it over. If the homework was okay, she would say to me, "You can go play." My parents did not play when it came to raising their children. We did what we were told. We did not ask questions. As a youth coordinator with the Memphis Gavel Club, I've heard most of you give speeches, and I've heard you say, "I did not know this or that." I've also heard you say, "I am young and still learning." But as one of your coordinators, I want each of you to know I, as your coordinator, are very proud of you. Because one of the first steps to growing up is admitting that you do not know everything. As you grow into young adults, you will improve because of the training you continue to receive from your parents and as a member of the Memphis Gavel Club. I know today your numbers are few, but as you grow and improve your skills, you will recruit others who want to be like you. The training that you have received as a member of the Gavel Club has equipped you for future speaking or leadership roles, any that may come your way. Not only are you learning to give a speech, but you're learning to pick and research your topic, such as the one Michael just completed. You are already leaders. Each of you has shown your willingness to learn. Let's think about this for a moment. On Sunday afternoon, when other young men are watching games or doing whatever they want, you are in a Toastmasters Youth Gavel Club meeting to improve your communication and leadership skill. These are skills that every adult needs to survive and to be successful. You're learning at an early age, and it is now showing. Each of you knows now how to conduct a meeting. Most of you have served in several club roles and given an icebreaker speech about yourself. You've also learned how to choose a topic, write a speech about that topic, and deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech. You've already learned how to conduct a virtual Zoom, a hybrid, and an in-person meeting. You have learned how to conduct yourself as a speaker, and you're learning fast. Just being able to stand before an audience and deliver a 5 to 7 speech shows that you are growing in confidence. The things you do today and the hours you put in will be with you, and they are the pillars for the rest of your life. Today, you are Gaveliers in the Memphis Gavel Club. Tomorrow, you will become a member of one of the world's best communication and leadership training organizations, Toastmasters International. You're off to a great start, each of you. The training will never leave you because you have mentors who care. We are your teachers, and you will always be our proteges. Only time will tell what you will become in the future, but the doors will always open because you are training yourself, and you're training yourself at an early age. I want to close with a quote by Helen Keller. Helen Keller says, "The things you do today that you don't have to do will determine who, what, and where you will be when it is too late to do anything about the things you should have done." End of quote. Now, I won't waste your time telling you who Helen Keller was, but I do challenge each of you to research her history. You may be surprised once you read the story of Helen Keller's life. And remember, the things you do today will be with you for the rest of your life. Thank you, Toastmaster.
A speech, Mr. Don Gray. Now it's time for us to move on to our table topics. And our table topics master here will be Miss Anna Jane.
Thank you, Toastmaster Xavier, and thank you, Don, for that wonderful speech. And oftentimes I thought, what would happen? What would I be if I had a Toastmasters when I was a younger age? I probably will be somewhere different. Some people different. So I really appreciate, Don, your encouragement for this Gaveliers. Thank you so much. And Michael's speech as well is wonderful. Now we're moving to table topics session, and today I want to remind everybody table topics speech is about 1 to 2 minutes. So when you speak, pay attention to timer. Of course, he's going to give you a sign of that 1 minute in green and 1.5 in yellow. So let's stretch our speech to cover that 1 minute, the minimum time. It is the fall now. We can say that summer is over. I'm glad that mosquitoes are all gone, right? Most of them, at least. I don't really are looking forward to pumpkin spice or boots and jeans, but I'm glad the mosquitoes are gone. So speaking of fall, I want to know your fall stories. So the first question that I have is, what's your most recent fall break experience? What's your most recent fall break experience? And that question goes to Matthew.
What was my most recent fall break experience? This past fall break, our family decided to stay home. This was a rather different fall break because the past fall breaks we usually traveled. However, I did get to do a lot that I wanted to accomplish. I finished up all my college applications, and I recently got accepted into Pittsburgh University, which is actually my #1 school that I wanted to go to. And I'm really shocked, but I'm really happy at the same time. So I give all glory to God, and I love that I have this accomplishment. Another thing that happened during this fall break was I celebrated a birthday party with one of my friends. About 20 people attended the birthday party. So it was a large birthday party, and the food was okay, but the experience was the best part. And we went back to our house and got to hang out, and I met new people, and we did play poker, but we did not gamble. So it was a fun experience, and that was my fall break experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. That was fun, and congratulations. Well, should I say congratulations because I'm one of the first to know that. But we'll have cake later for Matthew. My second question is, when you talk about the fall break, you want to travel. So would you travel to the mountains or to the beach or to the big cities? The mountains or beaches or the big cities? And that question goes to Joseph. If Joseph is online.
Joseph is not there. Joseph and Jonathan.
Yeah. So
They are?
Joseph, if you're online, can you give a response to that question?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. It's just the echoes. I think you have multiple cell phone open in the same room or in the same car. That's probably why.
Sorry about that. We're on the road.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah. Okay. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna move on. Or Joseph, what would you like to do? Or turn off one cell phone?
Yeah, is that better? Can you guys?
Yes.
We'll move on. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
They're good.
Oh, you're good. Okay, you're good. Okay.
Okay. Could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, the fall break vacation place, big cities or mountains or beach.
Okay, I got it. All right, yeah, so fall break. So since fall break is during fall, it's weather is really nice, it's sunny outside, pretty cool, not as much humidity or rain, especially here and where I live in Arkansas. But if I had to choose one place to go, either the beach or the mountains or the ocean, I'd go to the mountains because one, I love to hike and walk about in the trees and nature. To me, it's just such a relaxing, so relaxing to walk about in the forest and trails and chat with family on the way. You know, we like to play games, such as, you know, we would name say different countries from A to Z, you know, stuff like that. But yes, hiking in the forests is one of my favorite things to do on my free time and on vacation. In the mountains, it's super, super cool. It's nice weather. You know, the clouds, there are no clouds in the sky. It's awesome. And we just love we just love camping and hiking in the mountains. Thank you, Table Talks Master.
Thank you, Joseph. Since you live in Northwest Arkansas, I think you live pretty close to Ozark Mountains, right? So I would love to hear more of your stories in the mountains and hiking experience later. The next question is the sports. I'm going to switch into sports. What's your favorite fall sports? And that question goes to Anson.
Basketball is a basketball.
What
Football.
sports do you fall down the
Football.
most? Do I fall down the most?
What's your favorite fall sport?
Like,
The song count.
no, that's a spring sport, I believe.
What's all the fall sports?
Basketball, football, golf. No,
Just your
Favorite.
favorite sports?
Out of the orphans, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So for me, my favorite fall sport out of those three choices, golf, basketball, and football, will be football. Because I like how people kill each other on the pitch. You know, it's like the best sport to get injuries, which happens a lot in soccer too. So like, it also has the same like name as the original football. And also growing up, I always like football always inspired me because, you know, I want to get stronger. Grow up, don't we all? So yeah, football. I also want to improve my lung capacity because, like, you know, how you have to run and be stronger to like tackle people and also not to get tackled. So I feel like improving my game in football can also help me improve in soccer. And in my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Anson. Stretch to 1 minute. You go first time. Yeah, football. I love football. Check out Clemson University. It's my favorite team. You will love it. Next question is what? Not trying to be over cloying, but the question is: does the leaves falling, changing color, make you happy or sad? Does the leaves falling or changing color make you happy or sad? And that question goes to Tony.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Jean. When I see leaves falling, my first thought goes to reincarnation for some reason. And I was listening to Matthew, and I remember joining the Nation of Islam, where he said politics and religion, those are personal questions, and we should not discuss them. So even though the leaves falling reminds me of reincarnation, I know that that's just my opinion, but that's evidence to me that it's a cycle. It's like water and ice and gas. It's just a change in form. So I feel really good about it in that Mother Nature teaches us if we just pay attention. So yeah, I enjoy the fall and the spring more so than the summer and the winter. The rebirth is refreshing for me, and I just enjoy watching those changes. Spring or the beginning of the year is in April for me. It's my birth month, so it's a whole new year, and it's a representative of spring, of the spring equinox. So yeah, I enjoy the fall leaves and the spring of bulbs, the blooming. And thank you for that question.
Thank you, Tony. Glad you got another October baby, because I am one too. My next question is, there are so many things happening in October, and we have the hikings and the runs, all the different events, and we have Halloweens, right? So my next question is, would you like to go trick or treat this year? Would you like to go trick or treat this year? And that question goes to Alan.
I'd like to go trick or treating this year. At this age, at 15, I believe that is a unwise decision. Let me explain. So trick or treating is a tradition, mostly in North America, though I believe mostly just in the Americas. And it was started by, I'm not sure, but it is a tradition mostly, in my eye, reserved for young children who are hyper on candy. I am not hyper on candy, so I do not see an incentive for me to go, as I do not eat candy that much. And two, I think it would be a social, if not taboo, at least not acceptable in society to go trick-or-treating at my age, because that would be childish. And also, I do not have a valid costume this year, and I do not want to put forward the willpower to create one. So that is another limiting factor in my ability to go trick-or-treating. And for another thing, it would just be socially unacceptable. So I will not. Thank you.
Some years I choose not to go trick or treat, but some years I go full out. So mix it up. Yeah, thank you for that answer. My next question is, what's your favorite Halloween costume? What's your favorite Halloween costume? And that question goes to Xavier.
My favorite Halloween costume. That's a good question. For me, there are a lot of different Halloween costumes I've seen over the year. So for me to have to choose one is somewhat hard. From glowing Halloween costumes that have giant wings on them. You can see the outlines and the cracks and the skins glowing, to the skeletons, or to some from game categories such as Halo. Overall, throughout my younger years, I used to be a major Halo fan. So my favorite costume I'd have to go with would be Master Chief from Halo. My favorite variant of that is the full body suit, because even though I don't play Halo as much anymore as I used to, or not in that community as much as I used to be, I still love the outfits or the costumes or suits that they wear, the Spartan armor. And to see that full body IRL, like somebody walking around in the neighborhood in that, I still, at this age, find that cool. Thank you for the question.
For that answer, my next question is, I'm gonna switch back to the normal, not to Halloween stuff anymore. What do you look forward to? What fall event do you look forward to? What fall event do you look forward to? And that question goes to Peter.
I first want to preface this question with the question, with another question: is December in the fall? Okay, so I was about to say Christmas because honestly, when it gets to this time of year, I do not care about any other thing except for Christmas. Yes, I like Halloween. Yes, I kind of like Thanksgiving. Although Halloween, I cannot do as much, just like Alan here said. It's not that acceptable anymore because I'm at the old age of 16. And Thanksgiving is just an opportunity to test out if your mac and cheese making skills are at par. So when it comes to fall, I do not have that many things to look forward to except for maybe Thanksgiving break and fall break. Halloween might be fun this year, but we'll see. But the main point is that I am ready for Christmas. I hope that Christmas is very cold. I hope that it's not 80 degrees outside when it's December 31st. I mean, yeah, 2020. I forgot what Christmas was. Okay, thank y'all.
Peter, that was fun. I look forward to Christmas. My last question is, what's your favorite sports team? What's your favorite sports team? And that question goes to Horace.
I believe the question is, what's my favorite sports team or sports drink?
Sports team.
Sports team.
Favorite sports team is, my favorite sports team is Manchester United. I like football, real football, not what we call football, what we call soccer. Manchester United, and actually Madrid Real, or Madrid Real. Any of the soccer teams are my favorite. I was watching just 2 days ago. The most fun or exciting part about watching soccer, as we call it, I love it when someone gets kicked in the chin or get kicked in the back or make that slight mistake of hitting the ball or the ball hit their hand, right? And they get called for, hey, you can't hit the ball with your hand, right? But the more brutal the sport or that game, the more I like it. The last time I played the game, believe it or not, was about 25 years ago. And the reason I haven't played in so long is because I pulled the muscle and it hurt so bad that I said, why am I even out here playing with these young guys? Granted, that was 25 years ago, I was younger, but the guys that I was playing with were even younger. So I can imagine sitting around the table with all you guys. I could probably put a whooping on you like you've never seen. But you guys got speed, so I can't keep up. That's my favorite sports: soccer, football, Madrid Real style.
Thank you for that enthusiasm in the soccer. I want to still have one more question for Jonathan, because I don't want to miss any youth here in the table topic section. Jonathan, I just know that you had a trip, but right now it's your fall break. So how is your fall break going? How is your fall break, Jonathan?
Thank you for the question. We are actually coming back from fall break right now. We're on the road from a road trip. So this fall break, we we went to Indiana and
Yeah, we cannot hear you now.
I mean, when was it pushed out?
Hmm.
No, they're all.
Okay, well, I think Jonathan is having a technical difficulty.
He's on 1200. That's
How do you-
1.2 seconds.
All right, so I guess we will end this table topic session. I'll give the virtual podium back. to our-
Missouri. We went to Indiana, Missouri.
All right. Yeah, okay. All right, we'll give Jonathan a topic next time, first topic. All right, I'll give the virtual podium back to our Toastmaster Xavier.
For that extended table topic session. It is now time for our evaluations. So we'll bring up our general evaluator, Matthew Shee.
Thank you all for that table topic session. And now I'll pass the podium to evaluator 1, Haiyan Fan. I think she's driving. Yeah, I think that's better. Want to turn a pan? Yeah, we'll have a panel evaluation for Michael.
Yeah,
we started, right?
Don.
Don?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Michael, as you spoke today, I was taking notes. And as I said in my speech, I'm proud of the way the club had progressed. Michael, your vocal variety was right on. Your words were easy to understand as you spoke. So there was no problem with vocal variety. Your eye contact, as you looked around when you spoke, I noticed that you looked at the monitor and you looked around at your audience. So you did well. I also noticed that you use hand gestures. You're learning. You move your hand, you point it a little bit. So great job. I did notice that your tone as you spoke was even. The microphone did not flutter. It was just even because you had a smooth tone in your voice. You were aware of your audience. And how do I know you were aware of your audience? Because you asked questions of the audience. So you did a great job with that. I also noticed that you leaned on the lectern as you spoke. So with both hands, I know you can't do it, the way we would do it as a professional speaker or someone that has more skill. But as you grow into a speaker, try not to put both hands on the podium as you speak. And also I did like the part, I did not see you using notes. I did not see you reading from your notes, which tells me that you had practiced this speech before. Did another great job. You spoke about political opinion. I mean, what you did today was the way the Gavel Club is training you to be a speaker, and I enjoyed it. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
I was gonna say that I liked how he asked the question to draw in the audience at first. Toastmaster John Gray pointed it out that you were aware of your audience, but I also feel like it engages your audience by prefacing them with was it a controversial question or what was it? It was like everybody's. Yes, okay. It was a rhetorical question which everybody has the same experience in debating other opinions, which everybody has done it. And it was obvious everybody raised their hand, and that was a good way to have everybody participate in the speech. And also, what's the word? Inadvertently allowing everybody to pay attention to your speech at the same time.
I would just like to comment on Matthew's content. As I said earlier, when I was younger, I joined the Nation of Islam, and I heard them speak on personal opinions and religion, politics, and sexual orientation. Those were personal subjects that should not be discussed. And why they would want to make their opinions public on those subjects, I don't know. But I learned earlier because my father was involved and he transferred that information to us. But those are personal questions and personal subjects that should not be discussed because they provoke arguments. So I think your content was relevant for today, especially during this season, and as an example for other people, other youth and adults, to make sure not to ask personal questions because I would take a question like that personal with my background. So don't ask me my political opinion, my sexual orientation, or my religion because those are personal questions. So Matthew, I appreciate you bringing that up. And I intend to transfer that information the same way you did. Thank you.
And now I would like to shift to our second evaluation. Our second evaluation is of speaker 2, Dawn Gray. It's a panel evaluation. I'll start us off. I really like how you used the quote at the end. I really liked how it tied the entire message together. And I love the message as a whole because it's incredibly empowering and it's kind of a universal theme in a way that can connect to almost any audience. I believe the theme was the present decisions you make today can really impact your future. And I think that's a very empowering theme that really inspired me to make the right decisions today. And overall, I loved your speech. I would like to say that, like I believe Toastmaster Horace Taylor did last week on his impromptu 5-minute speech, he tied in the end with the start. And you prefaced this question, you prefaced the same statement at the beginning of your speech, and you ended it off with the exact same thing, which ties back the speech altogether, which I believe was a very good thing because it tied it all together.
I just want to add something here. I think, Don, your speech is really on the right time. This encouragement and the empowerment to the Gaveliers is just valuable, and it's needed right now because when I was doing my competent communication manual, I got stuck after a couple of speech and I didn't know how to move on. And I just remembered I needed extra encouragement to move on to the next project. So I really appreciate you this time you give them this encouragement for them to move on to a more difficult projects such as the body language and so on. So thank you very much.
Okay, I believe we're done with the evaluation session. And now I would like to call upon our timers report, which is Horace Taylor.
Thank you so much. Here is the timers report. For the two prepared speeches, the first speech was 7 minutes and 1 second. The second speech was 6 minutes and 3 seconds. The table topic speech responses came in as follows. Matthew spoke for 1 minute, 35 seconds. Joseph spoke for 1 minute, 39 seconds. Nancy spoke for 1 minute, 3 seconds. Tony spoke for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Alan spoke for 1 minute, 11 seconds. Xavier spoke for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Then Peter, Horace, and Jonathan wrapped it up with 1 minute 14, 1 minute 43, and 1 minute 17 seconds. Then the evaluations, both being a panel evaluation. The let's see, Don Gray spoke for 1 minute 45 seconds. Peter added another 37 seconds, and Tony closed it out with another minute and 10 seconds for a total of about 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And then the second speech panel evaluation for Don Gray, Michael, Peter, and Anna. Michael spoke for 46 seconds, Peter spoke for 32 seconds, and Anna spoke for 47 seconds. That, my good Gavel Club, is the timer's report. Back to you.
And now I'd like to call upon the grammarian, Peter Shute. That was very spoiling of you. I would like to say that nobody used the word today, except for me, of course. Yeah. Oh shoot! Oh wait! I forgot. Xavier, of course. Xavier said it. My bad. I'm so sorry, Xavier. Well, me and Xavier are obviously the best at using those words today because we are the only two who did it. Okay. So now for the ums and the ahs in the filler words. Michael, I counted 1/2 because I heard it a little bit. He basically said like, and then he moved on, which it was not a full in my opinion. It was like a half second. It was like very slow, very. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Shoot. Don Gray had no or uhs or filler words. Mrs. Zhang had 2 uhs and 1 you knows. Matthew had 3 uhs, and I would also like to say cut the ands. You said and a lot to transition. You continuously said and. Joseph, you had 2 you knows and 4 uhs. Anson, you had 4 likes. 4 likes. Tony, you had no ums or any filler words. Alan, you had no filler words. Mr. Horace, you had no filler words. And Jonathan had 1 filler word, and it was a So great job on your grammar today. We would like to include the word of the day more, and would like to cut down on the ums and the ahs and the filler words. Thank you. Okay, now I'll give my overall general evaluation. The meeting did start on time. We had no technical difficulties, and the meeting ran through smoothly. We first heard from 2 speakers, Michael Liu and Don Gray. Michael's speech about the opinions of others, especially those online, and Don Gray's speech about how the present decisions can impact someone's future. And then we shifted towards our fall themed table topics session directed by Anna John. And I like this table topics session because it was a theme-based session and it was flowing. And then we had our evaluation session. It was a panel evaluation, so everybody chimed in, and it was a great evaluation. overall, I love this meeting and I feel like we're getting a lot better. And I would like to give back the podium to Toastmaster Xavier Taylor.
Thank you for that. I believe it's time for me to pass it over to Mr. Peter Shi for our presentations and announcements.
We do not have any presentation or announcements from what I believe. Okay, so I will just be assigning the roles for next week. I would like to take grammarian. Okay. No, I'm sorry. Michael will be grammarian. I would like to say, is next week the regular speeches or is it a learning week?
We can do either. Anybody want to do a speech? If you haven't
I'm
done
kind of busy.
it in 4 weeks, if you haven't done it. in
Also, I
4
don't
weeks,
think next week, I don't think a lot of new people were here, so they don't know that they have to give a speech. Like, even if we
Yeah,
did
it's
assign-
something they have to make a decision if they want to come to the meeting or not. Yeah,
So, but who will give the speech?
I can do that.
Okay. So we are having a very educational meeting next week, and Miss Anna Song will be the education nerd. Yes. The general evaluator. Who would like to take?
Yeah, general,
For the general evaluator, who would like to be the general evaluator? Okay, Mr. Horace Taylor would take that. Who would like to be the timer, preferably someone online, of course. Okay, so Xavier and Don Gray have both assigned. Well, both.
Xavier can have it.
Okay, we'll give it to Xavier. And we have evaluator 1 for Matthew will take evaluator 1. Oh, we also have Toastmaster. I guess it will be up to me to be the toast.
Okay.
Unless we have any objections.
Have you ever done a Toastmaster before?
Just do what's on the page, basically.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, you just introduce people, to be honest. If you want to, like,
Why
you don't
not?
want to. Okay, so Alan will be the Toastmaster for next week, and if I believe
Topic master.
I'll be the topics master for next week. And that is all the roles, I believe.
Mhm.
So at that, I would like to thank all y'all for coming. We had a great hybrid meeting today. No mic problems, which is better than a lot of the weeks. So we hope to continue this spree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, want to say something.
Oh,
One thing, can I get a smile from everyone so I can send to everyone? Let me see, here's everyone. Hold on, Tony, I need a smile. Renee, I need a smile. Renee, open up your camera. Mr. Jonathan, if you can, if you cannot, no problem. On 3, 1, 2, 3. I just took a picture. Thank you so much. And one more little small thing. When we get to the introducing the speaker, the prepared speaker, if we could, can we try to incorporate the evaluator to introduce the speaker?
yes.
That would require the speaker to reach out to the evaluator to say, Madam Evaluator, this is what my speech is titled, and this is what I'll be doing in my speech. So the evaluator can say, ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker is Peter. His speech is titled blah, 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 and this is what I'm looking for. Check. As opposed to the Toastmaster just saying, our first speaker is this person.
Yeah,
Or
I think the speaker needs to send a self-introduction to the Toastmaster and tell the evaluator the project number.
Yes, exactly.
Two things you need to do for the speaker before the speak. Okay,
All right. Thanks for coming. You are now dismissed. Thank you.
Bye.
move this one to B.
Huh? Is it just natural?